Hi, Trevor here, reflecting on life through music. Welcome and thank you for stopping by. It's fantastic that you are here. Well, I trust you enjoyed my last video on Tomaso Albinoni. And in that video, we just looked at a little bit of his life, and the video gave you a space to reflect. And if you want to recap on that one, the link is below in the description, so I'll leave that one with you. A couple of videos before that one, I looked at the Cars and I looked at their song in particular, Drive. And in that video, I introduced the character Jessica. Now, in that video, I kind of hinted at the fact that Jessica may have found a continuing story. And certainly with this song by the Casting Crowns today called Does Anybody Hear Her, this provides an opportunity for me to continue her story. We will do another video on the Casting Crowns next week when we'll find out a little bit more about the band, but I just wanted to tell the story today, so sit back and relax. So you may recall Jessica was one that was stunningly beautiful, and whenever she went out, she would make sure that she looked just right. She was the life of the party, but there was never really any deep connection and deep conversation with her because she was just too preoccupied with going on to the next thing. Well, it came that one night she happened to see an old boyfriend, Jonathan, who was really engrossed in conversation with some friends, and she just really, really longed to be there with him. And as the night ended, she suddenly realised that she was alone. So that's where the story ended, and we're going to keep going with this story today. Well, Jessica, being Jessica, thought, oh, look, it's just a night. We'll get over it. We'll be fine. And certainly as her weeks progressed, she continued on the same way. She would make sure she was looking absolutely stunning every time she went out. And every night, at the end of the night, she'd be looking at the same aloneness that she was starting to feel. And the aloneness got to such a point that it started to overwhelm her, and she started to be even fearful about going out. She would say to herself, Jessica, don't be silly. I mean, you're the life of the party, right? Everyone loves to be around you, and boys just love being with you. That was starting to change, and she didn't know why. And she would do what she normally did. She'd go for her runs, and every Sunday morning she would run past a particular church, and she would see the people in conversation out the front, and she just wondered, what that was like. But as she would run past, no one would really pay any attention to her. They were too engrossed in their own selves to even worry about stuff like that. And so she just ran past. Well, it got to the point where she just really didn't know what to do. She wasn't really sure with herself. She was starting to let her guard down a bit. She was starting to let herself go a bit as well, because she'd look at herself, this stunningly beautiful woman, and she would see that it wasn't working. And she started to change the way that she looked. She wouldn't put as much effort into it because she didn't see the point. And bit by bit, her life started to unravel. Her work noticed that she had changed and she wasn't as much as she used to. She was starting to make mistakes at work, and eventually she was told it was time to finish. How quickly her life had fallen from being the life of the party to someone who was now a bit desperate. Money was harder to come by, and she took any job she could, and she ended up getting a job as a waitress in a cafe. This was a job that just required her hair just to be put in a bit of a ponytail, a bit of a t-shirt, and she just needed to get on and do the job. And she found herself not knowing who she was. She would see people coming in at times. There was a particular group that used to come in at Sunday lunchtimes, and there would be about 8 or 9 of them. They'd be chatting and having fun and having good conversation. and she just wondered what that would be like. But as she was finding people were starting to not take notice of her, she was not becoming the centre of attention that she was used to. And if she did go out for a night, she would go home with any guy that she could lay her hands on, because she desperately craved their attention. She was gradually losing herself. So she woke up one morning. The guy she had been with the night before, he had well and truly gone by then, so she was looking at herself in the mirror alone. She could not hide the tears that were starting to form in her eyes, and as she went off to her work at the cafe that day, she didn't want to be there. She thought, oh God, what am I going to do? And as the same group of people came in as they always did, and they were laughing and having fun and having conversation, she just looked at them, but no one looked back. They just expected her to take her order and to do what she always did. And eventually the group left, but just one girl for some reason was compelled to hang around. And as she looked at Jessica, she saw that underneath all of it, she was only just holding it together. And she asked Jessica to sit down, and they chatted and smiled. Jessica's boss at the time, even though it was busy, he could see that something was going on, so he just smiled and came around and said, look, I'll give you a little bit of time here, Jessica. Spend some time with this person. And bit by bit, Jessica realised that she was a person of worth and a person of value. Someone had taken the time to spend with her, and it changed her world. Now, as I shared in the cast video a little while back, Jessica is just a name that I plucked out of the air at the time. And so if your name is Jessica and you are watching this video, it's just the name that I've chosen. I haven't got a particular Jessica in my head. But I suppose the challenge is that whatever your name is, if you're finding yourself in this place right now where the looks aren't working, they're just not working, maybe this is a wake-up call, Jessica's story as a wake-up call to you, that what people are really longing for is a way to connect with you, a way to get into the deeper part of you and to work out who you are. The looks and the immaculate hair, there's just a mask that we put on to try and get the world behind us to like us. But the world's looking to be able to get inside the mask and to be able to see the real you. I know it's hard in this world. The world also expects us to be perfect, particularly in our looks. But you know what? It's just so hard to keep that up because you're on display the whole time. There's no let up. There's no let up. And as Jessica found, the minute she let her guard down, the world changed for her quite dramatically. People didn't want to be around her anymore. That's the last thing that we want. We don't want that. We actually want to be around people who can walk the journey with us and to be part of our lives. The guy or the girl that you'll end up with, they're not looking for pristine beauty. They're looking for connection with your innermost being. That is what makes human beings who we are. So if you're a Jessica or a Sam or a George or a Fred or an Antoinette or whatever your name is, if you're going through this stuff right now, can I plead with you to drop the mask? Can I plead with you to look for connection instead? And for those of us who should know better about looking out for people who are struggling. We need to have an awareness of what people are going through. If we get an inkling that something's up, it probably is. And for those of us who know better, we need to take the time to sit with people and to hear their story. This is the other side of the Does Anybody Hear Her song today. It's not just a call for those who are struggling in life. It's also a call for those who can help people through the struggle. Particularly those of us who gather on Sunday mornings every week. Does anybody see her? This is the call of the Casting Crowns today with their song. This song came off the 2005 Life Song album, and in particular Mark Hall Fashion, the guy who wrote this song, he knows exactly what he needs to say in just the right way. So the link to this song is in the description below. And thank you for hanging around today, and I trust it has been an encouragement for you. So I'll leave you with the clip for today, and until next time, I'll catch you around.